My journey with alcohol started when I was really young. In grade 4. Grade 4, you are out. Because I thought if these adults were taking it, then it means that this thing is not harmless. I'd been called to study at Makerere University, and I was called to study law.
These friends of yours, they were just there for alcohol, to buy you alcohol, but when you are in trouble,
yes,
they couldn't help.
Yes, that's what I noticed. Respect me when they can see clearly I have the money.
Now you want to show
them. So I wanted to show them that I truly have the money. So I would feel so bad. I felt like my stomach was going to cut. The major one that now made me to turn was when our daughter passed. Hey family, we are the Trails of the Odongos, a channel that shares family vlogs on simple life, living, our faith journey, and also our family travel adventures. So today we are going to share a video on our faith journey and on something that we are going to try and talk honest and raw conversation, opening up deeply on something that really affected our life, and that is my alcohol addiction. So we are going to share how it started, how it affected us as a family, and how we overcame it together as a family. We are sharing this in the hope that it will help somebody out there feel less alone and also more hopeful. We hope you get inspired and motivated to walk through this journey. We hope you're going to also watch it through the end so that you can learn something out of it. So I'm going to leave it to my wife to be able to ask me some of these questions, and then I'll try and answer them the best way I can.
When did you first start drinking?
Yes.
And why?
Okay. My journey with alcohol started when I was really young, and it started when I was how old? I was in grade 4. Grade 4, you are how old? Around 10 years.
10 years?
10 years, yes. And how it started is that there used to be a neighbor of ours who was making some wine. Where I grew up, there was a neighbor who was making wine using pineapple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the wine had, it was a small wine made out of pineapple.
Yeah.
And he also used to make juices out of passion fruit, you know. And so there was his nephew was staying with him. And the teachers at our school used to send us to go during break time to go with the nephew to go and bring some juice for them at school. So when we were going to the house to be able to bring the juice to the teachers, you know, the uncle was not there. So this nephew was somebody who was a little bit older
Than you?
Than me by around two classes there.
Okay.
And so when we used to go with him to bring the juice, there's this day that his uncle had not bottled up those wine. Oh. There were some that he had already packed them, but they were still in, the bottles were not yet put on the bottles. So there's this one particular time that when we went, the boy decided to take a little bit of the wine and he poured it into a jar and we had a sip, you know. Okay. And then when we had a sip, then way back later in life, still in those lower grades or lower primary, I also grew up in a family that my father basically used to take alcohol, though it wasn't that bad, the one that leads to addiction. He was just somebody who was somewhat well off, so he used to enjoy his bottle. So yeah, so no, he used to take bottle proper. Oh. But now, at times when he would come home, he would forget and leave the bottle at the edge of the sofa set. So us being children and us being like we had already tasted it previously during that wine escapade, then we started like sipping. Yeah, we started sipping that small the remaining one in the bottle. You remember that I'll say that was in grade 4.
Oh, you tested it.
So that's when we started. I basically started, I can say, my first taste or my first contact with alcohol in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What? At first,
yes.
Did you feel it was harmless?
Yes, you know, when you see, during those ages, when you see somebody taking alcohol, you used to ask yourself, how is this person feeling? What is this thing that this person is drinking? Because we used to see our those who are older than us taking this thing, and they will talk. Even somebody who was quiet will talk and talk and talk, and the curiosity out of us or out of me thought like it is something that makes somebody to talk or to
Feel
be
good.
open or to feel good or to do such things. Yeah. So how it I did what? How I felt.
It was
Even
harmless.
if it was harmless, yes, because I thought if these adults were taking it, then it means that this thing is not harmless. Yeah, I never thought of it as something that could harm somebody or something that could affect either your life physically, financially, emotionally. No, I never thought of that. I only thought it was something that was good, and that's why I could see people taking it. I could see my father taking it. I could see during these big occasions when you used to have Christmas festivities, my dad would call his cousins and all those people, and they will consume it. And also, when you used to go and visit my grandmother used to brew the traditional alcohol. So you see now in the family, the alcohol chain was just running like this, and I will see them as sleeping, maybe being told to go and sleep, and then the others will remain, and then they start consuming the alcohol bit of it.
I believe it was just because you were a child, you couldn't see the bad side
Yeah,
of
yes,
it.
yes. Yeah, because I was a child, I couldn't see or I didn't understand or I couldn't even think that there's
But
something
now,
harmless.
after
Yes, of
you
course.
came to understand.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Can you describe the moment when it started becoming more frequent or necessary?
Yes. When alcohol started becoming more frequent or necessary in my life is when I went to campus. Yes. So what happened is I studied in Uganda. Yes. And I didn't manage to basically join the campus, but during that period when people were joining, because I had qualified, I had been called, and I'd been called to study at Makerere University, and I was called to study law, but I had an issue with finances. So when we were trying to sort out finances with my parent and also some other people who had come through for us in our community, I decided to just go ahead and start seeing if I can get a hostel, if I can get a place to be able to, I can do the, yani I was just moving very fast to try and put myself in the university because most of my peers had already started classes. So during that particular period of time is when I was basically introduced to a lot of alcohol consumptions. Yeah, because we would go to different clubs around the city of Kampala. We would do that. That's basically the time that I was introduced to a lot of these bad things that happen. That's when I started seeing the bad side of alcohol. It was my first time drinking and blacking out. It was my first time when I blacked out. It was my first time when I was involved in a bad fight. It was the time that even one of my friend was injured and had to go to the hospital about it. Yeah, so that was the period in that now I started seeing the bad side of alcohol, and that is the time that I realized that wow, this thing is now becoming. I'm taking it more frequently because now let me tell you something. When we went to Makerere, Makio had not yet booked a hostel, had not yet paid, had not yet basically officially registered. But I was there with the intention to do my studies because I had the calling letter. I had some sponsors that already reached out to me, but they did come in time for me to be able to join the classes. So we used to drink, we were drinking alcohol at that time to survive because I was staying with a friend of mine. And now the way people used to live there was like, you find it was like we didn't have money for food, and the classes what we were doing, my friend was doing evening classes. So since I was staying with him, I also used to do exactly the schedule of my friend.
Okay.
So we would let's say start at night. After classes, we would walk as we walk to the hostel. We'll pass by some of the friends' hostels. Then we eat, and then after eating, maybe a friend will suggest, "Hi, can we contribute some small money so that we can get some cheap alcohol?" And basically that was the time that I started drinking frequently and frequently. I was drinking daily. And we were drinking to survive. Like, once people contribute, they'd contribute some small money, let's say $3 or $5, and then we would buy some cheap liquor, and then we would drink ourselves silly.
Like a group, eh?
Yeah, like a group. And then remember, that was the time that freshers were joining, so there was a lot of entertainment that were going around. So you'll hear some big artists are performing in I don't know where, some big artists somewhere else. So we would go, and we would go to these events, and by the time we come back, it is like morning. So we sleep, we bypass breakfast, we bypass lunch, then we wake up at maybe 1 or 2.
That become a weak person, eh?
Yes, we were very weak by then.
Very weak.
And then we take cassava and some chili, and then wait for classes, then the schedule continues like that. So basically it was drinking to survive.
So the worst side is because you started when you were a little boy,
Yes.
and now you started consuming more than what you can.
Yeah, so that was the point that now I realized that this thing is becoming too much now. It has started becoming too much. And Maki had not yet started earning. I was still a potential student. I had not yet joined, but I had everything to be able to join a campus.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm sorry for that. Now, on the other side of the struggles, eh?
Yes.
When did you realize alcohol was becoming a real problem? Like a real problem?
Now, the time I realized is when now, later on in life, when now I had married, and when I was single, I never used to drink that much.
Yeah.
Because I think I was born an introvert. I was somebody who used to live my own life. I'm somebody who can thrive in the house 24/7 without talking to anyone. Yeah, that's how I grew up. So during my single life, I never used to drink that much because financially I was not well off. And then I started meeting some of my friends who are in campus, who managed to finish campus. They got jobs. So now I had friends who are able to do what? To buy for me something. So over the weekend will maybe call me, and then we meet with friends, and then me also, the little that I've gotten somewhere, I used to be able to buy some drinks. And then when I realized that this thing was becoming a problem is like after getting married, where I was staying, I realized that I could not come back home early. Because the friends who I had, they used to come to those joints very late. Remember, they are still working. So by the time they come from work, and then they come to the joints that we are meeting up, it is already late. But remember, it's when they have already joined now. Initially, initially they would like send me money and tell me, you start drinking as we are coming. Just drink on our bill. When we come, we'll sort the bill. But now you see, it's a social gathering. You want to talk to these people. You want to talk, have fun, yeah? So by the time they come is around 8. And where we were living by then, when we started life with you, you remember the gate was being closed at 10.
You had to call me every time to
open
the gate.
So the problem was this. By the time these guys come, it's almost 2 hours to the 10 o'clock. And then I'm very far. I'm in town. So with alcohol, the problem is once you start drinking, you forget about time
and start risking your
Yes. So I would realize too late that time has really gone, and now I have to get back home. And when I come back home, maybe the place was also dangerous, and I used to climb, like it was 4th or 3rd floor from the exterior of the house. Yeah, I used to climb from the kiosk to kiosk to kiosk so that I can climb. And the risk part was, it was like, if maybe the watchmen saw me, they would kill me, thinking I'm a thief.
Shoot you?
Or I could fall, because I'm also drunk. I could fall from that height and fall and injure myself or die. So that was the time that I realized this thing is now becoming a problem. Yeah, it was becoming a problem. Because most of the friends I had, the only thing how we could meet was not in church. It was through alcohol, through drinking or having fun.
Yes. And the funny thing is that they are not married, and yet you.
Yes. By then with them, they were not married. So I was the one who was married.
They have nothing to lose.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Did you try to stop before? And what made it hard? Did you try to
Yes,
stop the
yes.
alcohol?
Initially, I tried quitting alcohol each and every day. Because if there's one thing that I hated about alcohol was the hangover. I really hated the hangover. And it is one of the key things that made me to leave alcohol. I hated hangover so much that every time, basically I would go to drink with these friends of mine. And when we are starting drinking, I'll be enjoying. But by the time it reaches around midnight, for me I'll be already off. Even most of my friends used to think like, what is wrong with this person? Because I'll just decide to go quiet. People are talking, joking, but me, I'm just
there.
I'm now dull, totally dull. Always past midnight. I used to be like that. But you find that these friends of mine were the ones who, as the days go by, is when they are drinking more and more and more. But for me, the good thing, I thank God, I had a limit on myself. Like there's a point in time where I could reach and say no, I cannot take anything anymore. And now I used to ask people to give me water. So I'll buy more water because number one, I know I'm going back to my family. I don't want to go back home when I'm drunk. So I'll start ordering water so that I can now at least calm down. And the reason why I was also taking water was because at that time I used to have very bad headache. Very bad. And just in the vehicle coming back home, I'll ask myself, why do I have to take something that is hurting me more than bringing any benefit to me? Because you only enjoy for 2 hours and then suffer for a very long period of time. So like those hangovers could last even 3 days. Because the next day I will still be drunk. Then the other day, the day after that following day is when now it will start coming down. So basically the headache will take me almost a week. Yeah. And it reminded me of a time in my childhood when I used to have severe headaches. And I don't like headaches so much. I hate it.
Headache
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah, headache is one of the issues there.
But
So I tried. Yeah, so I was quitting alcohol every day. Every day after drinking, I'd quit alcohol until the next time when my friends call me. Then I'm still on. So I'll quit and I'll tell them I'll never drink again. Then the next time they give me a call, I'll be there with them.
I think it's also better to choose your friends wisely.
Yeah. It's always good to choose your friends wisely because the people you walk with, the people you talk with, those people will shape who you are. Yeah. So that's why we are always called upon to be on the lookout on the people we choose to be our friends.
Yeah, for sure. That's an example. Another question is that how did it affect your physical health, emotions, and mindset?
My physical health, I can say that I was blessed with a body that doesn't show anything. So I didn't see it affecting me physically. Apart from, I can say I only black out maybe twice in my entire life. I puked maybe once in my entire life of drinking. Maybe once or twice. Once or twice, not many. But if you had ever seen me puking, it means I had gone over and overboard. Because they used to call me big tank. Because I would take and take and take and take. And whatever I was taking was something that was very strong.
You never stagger.
Yes, I was never staggering. So they knew that when you have Ken on the table, then you need to have some good money. Because that guy will sip everything.
Yeah.
So that was me for you. So physically, it never really affected me. Emotionally, yes. Emotionally, I was affected because I never really enjoyed. I never really enjoyed these things. And I'm one person who used to question each and every time, why am I doing it? And I used to ask myself, is there any other life other than this one for drinking? Because I never saw something that was good that was coming out of it. Because I realized that I had friends who will buy for you alcohol for 10,000. But if you lacked even 500 shillings, none would give you. So that's how emotionally it affected me. Because I used to look at these people across the table and I'll judge them as that. Not that they need to help me in any way. But I reason like, why should you buy me 10,000 shillings alcohol,
But
yet when I'm stuck for something that is 100% genuine, you are not able to help me out with even a shilling. So I realized that these were things that people are just doing to escape from the problems that they had, not to enjoy. Basically, there's nothing that people are enjoying in alcoholism. Most people are drinking because of either trauma that they are going through, or past mistakes that they did, or a mistake that they did. So there's nothing that somebody can tell you that there's any enjoyment in alcohol. Any person that tells you they enjoy alcohol, tell them, can we see each other in the morning after you have drunk alcohol, so that you can explain that same story. Yeah. Because once they drink in the morning is when everybody always regret. And most people they'll say, oh, I've stopped and I'll never ever drink again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for you, these friends of yours, they were just there for alcohol, to buy you alcohol, but when you are in trouble,
yes,
they couldn't help.
Yes, that's what I noticed, that most of the friends that you drink with, most of them, and even it comes from the way I looked at my father's life. He was not a poor man, he was not a very rich man. He was there in between. He was also a senior civil servant, and I realized that when he passed on, the buddies that he was drinking with, most of them disappeared.
They didn't even attend?
No, they came to the funeral and then they disappeared. And that thing never got out of my mind, even up to now. I'm always worried. That's why you see, I prefer staying indoors. I prefer staying with my family, because I noticed that my dad had a lot of friends. He had a lot of friends. But when he went, his friends dumped. They dumped his family. Even those that stood in the funeral and stated that they'll be able to support the family, all of them went. And you see, my dad passed when he was still so young. Yeah, and that is one thing that even as I was drinking, it is something that made me decide that one day, and the good thing is I decided to leave alcohol way before I even decided to stop it. It's something that was in my mind that always crept in, that one day I'll stop this thing. Yeah.
Well, now for the consequences.
Yes, the consequences.
Yes. How did your addiction affect our relationship, home, kids, or faith?
Wow. So the consequences I can say of my addiction was that number one, I was not providing in the family the way I was supposed to.
Yeah.
So you realize that, let's say it's on a Friday, and my friends, I know we are supposed to meet. Instead of buying even some chicken or some fish or meat for my family, I'd rather keep that money to be able to not to disappoint my friends, so that when I reach in the table, they can also respect me, that I have what? I've brought in something. Not that every time they're buying for me.
You order something.
Yeah, so that I can also do around. And it affected my family financially, because I was not able to pay bills the way they were supposed to be done. My children's school fees were suffering. A lot of things really happened. And if I can go back, remember I said I started in grade 4. When I reached Form 2, I entered into a group that really changed the way my life turned out to be. And it was because of alcohol. We used to bring in alcohol at school. We'll hide them we'll take a bread, cut it into half, then squeeze in. Yeah? Squeeze in.
Are they sachets?
Yeah, we had sachets of alcohol. During that time, we used to have alcohol that was being sold in sachets, small sachets like these. And they were tiny sachets, like, I don't know, 30 or 10 ml. And yes, and they were in a polythene like this. So we will cut a bread and then remove part of the bread, then you stuff in more alcohol inside there. Then we smuggle those alcohol in school. And then we also transitioned to drugs. Yeah, we started doing drugs in school, and this thing really affected the way my life turned out to be. Even those who knew me in primary, when they looked at me after high school, most of them they were shocked, because I was this bright student in primary school. I was a bright student in the early days of my secondary. But then because of alcohol, I entered a group that was consuming alcohol. And this group, we used to smuggle in the alcohol. We used to go to these events just to be able to look for girls, to look for all these bad things, yeah? We'll sneak out of school and do bad things instead of studying.
Rules.
We would break them. We'll sneak out at night, you know, and sneak through the fence, go to the town centers, do crazy things, you know. There's a time I remember where we went very far, just trying to follow disco, you know, this disco matanga. Yeah. And you see, we were doing these things because we were under the influence of alcohol. Now, when you sit back and think of them, you realize the grace of God in you, that God really had you covered, because we were really risking our lives doing some of these things, and most of them we were doing because we were under the influence of alcohol. So basically, that is one of the consequences that I can say of alcohol, that it changed the course of my life. That where I ended up being is not where I was supposed to be, because of my addiction to alcohol very early. It changed the trajectory of my life, and I ended up failing in getting suspended in high school because of alcohol. I ended up going to now a very bad school later on in life. After realizing my mistake, I was not able to go back to that particular school. And even though I managed to get to Makerere, it was later on in life after I'd realized my mistake and I'd corrected my mistakes. So but you see, I could have done better. I could have gone to university straight away in Kenya instead of going to Uganda. Yeah. But because of alcohol, it changed the trajectory of my life. And that is a consequences that I can clearly state that in Form 2, going in bad group, taking alcohol in Form 2 really changed and made my life to be the one that even my parents never dreamt of it.
Wow. Yeah. That was very hard, but influence. Okay. Another question is that were there any moments where things nearly fell apart?
Yes, and before I even say that, that question you've asked, you also asked why the consequences to our relationship. Yes, there were consequences was that we used to fight a lot. We used to argue a lot.
Yeah, like we were like...
Yeah, we used to have a lot of quarrels, a lot of misunderstandings. Though not physical fights then, but it was a lot of quarrel and misunderstandings, yeah. And it was because I would go and drink, then I come back in the morning, then I don't have money for even breakfast. And yet I'm finished, you know, like drunk totally. Yeah, so
you can't remember.
I can't remember anything. And you see, it could find like maybe I was going to do a project and you knew very well that I'd been paid in that particular project. But then when I come back home, I have no money. I've wasted the entire money drinking out there.
And many lies.
Yes, and a lot of lies. And
because now you don't have this money. You have to create
stories.
To cook a story to cover the...
Yeah, to cover the mistakes, yes. Yeah. So you're asking?
Yes. Were there any moment where things nearly fell apart?
Yes. I can say physically, especially in Form 2, if I go back to that particular story, when the worst part in Form 2, there's a day that I did overdose.
What?
And because of peer pressure.
Yeah.
So what happened, and this is something that maybe somebody can learn of what peer pressure can do. Yeah. So it was my first time taking the local brew, that is Changa. And during that particular day, we were in school. We had gone for a sport event in a town center. It was the district sports day, and basically that event is the one that led to me being suspended. So we had gone on half term, and now we were having sports day for different schools in the particular district. How they meet. So many schools. And now because we wanted to look cool, we were in a certain group of boys. Big boys we used to call ourselves the Wasewa Jiji, or those who have come from Nairobi. As much as I didn't come from Nairobi, but I used to associate with them. And I remember that day, we were standing in a homestead where they were cooking that local brew. So
it was
it is a homestead.
Within the school?
No, we are not in school. We're already out for half term. But during this half term, there's a sports event that is going on for district in another town, very far from the school now.
Yeah.
So instead of going home, for us, we have remained to spectate in that particular sports.
Yeah.
So we went into the town, and this is a town that I grew up, so some people knew my father in that particular town.
Yeah.
So we went and stood near this boma, and there was a lady who was selling the changa. So mark you, we were around seven boys or 10 boys.
Yeah.
And out of those, all of us, we were putting on trousers for school. Down here, there were trousers for school. Up, we were putting on
sweaters.
No, civilian t-shirts, yeah,
Oh.
the ones that we had hidden in the bags. So in our heads, we don't think that the trousers can tell us off. Somebody can just say these are school kids, So because the mama who was selling the changa didn't want any person there, so we had to go one by one. So you'll go at the door, the lady's waiting for you with a glass jar of that changa. Then you just do a sip once. Then you move across. And then across where you are living, the traffic police were there.
Ooh.
And they are not supposed to know what is happening here. So you'll go there. I remember when I went there, I took the glass. When I put it near my nose, it hit me. It was so conk and so bad. It was my first and last time when I tasted the local brew. And I never even did it again.
What?
Because that thing was so bad. Yeah, even though I said my grandmother used to brew it, maybe I had to go through that because of what my grandmother, through her activity, did to other families.
Yeah, so
because life is always spiritual. Yes. So I took the glass, I tried to hit it like this, and it was so bad I felt like throwing it in the glass. But then when I looked back, I saw my friends who were there, who were waiting for me. They were like cheering me, telling me, Bana, you are wasting our time, Bana, do it. And you see, if you didn't do it, they'll remove you from the group. So you are not going to hang with them around in the sports day. And in the sports day, we were going to look for girls now.
The age.
Yeah, for girls our age. So, if you are not in that cool group, then maybe the girls will not look at you, Because girls also used to like bad boys,
Yeah.
So we took the sip, and then after that, we went in town. We also bought some other drugs in town.
Again?
We took, now you see, because of peer pressure, I didn't know that I was overdosing. So I just took and took and took and took and took. And later on, the things, even in my old age right now, when I meet friends who are there, the things they tell me I did, I'm always ashamed of. Most of them I can't remember.
Wow.
And I later on blacked out. When I blacked out, I was attacked by thieves. And I found myself in a police cell because I ran to the police to assist me. The police didn't assist me. They looked at me and saw I was drunk and I was a student. They took me in. When they took me in, one of the police boss knew my father, and he knew a friend of my father was my guardian who was taking care of me in school. So he called him and they decided to let me stay in the cell so that I can also learn my lesson.
Oh.
So I stayed in the cell, and one of the things that happened in the cell for me, there's a day that this guardian came, and I thought that, finally he has come to get me off the police station. But then I started crying because apparently I'd gone to his home, and this is somebody who saw me being born.
So he knew.
And he knew my father. They were best friends, and he was so sad that his best friend's child has turned out to be an alcoholic.
Oh, no.
So apparently I went to his house, because I used to go to his house after closing, so that I can take transport and everything. Then I go home. So when I went, I found his wife there, and they alleged that I told her some bad things that also I cannot remember, And she was mad because she saw me being born. She saw everything of me.
Right.
And these are the things, when the man came to the police cell, he was just asking me, did you come to my house? What did you say? What did you do?
You can't even.
And because I couldn't remember I'd overdosed. He decided to leave me, said, I'll come for you once you are sober. Once you remember what you did. And when I started crying, the police hit me with the backside of the gun here on my ear until I fell on the floor. And I just called on my mom and I called on my dad. And those are just, I want you to mark those things. Those are the things that later on made me to decide to be the person I am today. So, fast forward, I managed to sober up. The experience at the cell wasn't bad enough, because I'm somebody who's so humble. I was able to relate with everybody inside there. I did all the bad work inside there. And then the day came for me to be released. I was released, and I managed to go back home. and the rest is history. But these are some of the things that, as I was saying, some of the bad parts of my addiction that I can clearly state. Another one that I can confidently talk about is, there's a time that I think I did overdose also. But this one was not because of alcohol, but it was influenced by alcohol. So there's a friend who we used to work with, and he came with some drugs which he had taken from where he was working. I didn't know the drug, but the drug was a component that is being used to make legal drugs.
The glucose one?
No, this is just, you see, the medical drugs, not street drugs. These just medical drugs that are being used.
It's the one we saw on the TV. Like
no, not that one. These are an ingredient that is being used in pharmaceutical companies to make drugs. So he had taken it from there illegally. So when he brought it to us, me, I was already fired by then. So I was in the house. So he said, oh, he has found some good business. We are going to make a lot of money. So in the process, as we were laughing in, we were testing a bit, you know. And because I was broke and I'd already knew how alcohol does to me, so I wanted to take more so that I can forget about my problems. So when I took it, the next thing I realized, I woke up out of the hospital after 1 week. I'd gone into a coma. Yes, I went into a coma into 1 week, and it's by God's grace that I was able to be alive. So, and my mom had to rush and come for me. My family came through for me, and you know, those are some of the bad things I can state that alcohol has really done in my life. Yeah, there were some of the bad things that made me really regret in my time.
You have a reason to hate it anyways. Now the turning point. What was the wake-up call that made you want to change?
The wake-up call, I can say that it's something that started way before.
Yeah.
The wake-up call came, there's a day that my friends called me to go and drink with them. And on this particular day, I had made some money. It was around 60,000 Kenya shillings. And we almost drank almost all of it. I think it remained only 10,000 if I'm not wrong. Now, these friends used to buy me a lot of alcohol. And there's somebody who had given me a job for NCA, if I'm not wrong. And the friends used to buy for me a lot of alcohol for almost a period of 2-3 years. So as a man, there's a point in life where you feel like,
I'm wasting my time.
No, not wasting my time. I'm becoming useless to these people. Because I want to be in their group.
But you're not fit.
But now, every time they can't be buying me every time. So this day I decided to surprise them. So what happened, because me, I was in the field, I'm working in the field, I'm self-employed, I had all the time. So I prepared. When I received this money, I shared whatever I could share with my wife. Then whatever remained, I went to this local joint in town. And it was around 2 p.m. So remember, by 2 p.m. when you start drinking, imagine what will happen by 6 p.m. You've not even started time for drinking. So by the time 6 p.m. comes, I've already waited for my friends. I'm even tired. You know. And then my friends came. So my friends had already graduated from taking beer. Now they were taking the whiskeys, you know, the Johnny Walkers and everything. So me, by the time they came in, and you saw, I'd already spent most of the money, because when I had the money and also alcohol, I used to just share with people. Maybe I'd share with my mom, share with my sister, share with so and so, share with so and so. So it wasn't like wasted all of it. But then I'd kept some to be able to surprise these people that I'm also heavy. You know, I can also do something.
Your pocket is
my pocket is heavy today. Even when they came, they felt sorry for me. They were like, no, but now you are wasting money. So I also, that even motivated me to now to buy for them even more. Because
to show them like
how dare they can even disrespect me when they can see clearly I have the money.
Now you want to show them.
So I wanted to show them that I truly have the money. So I'll fill the table, they finish, I fill the table. So you know, with them they've just started. I tell you, that day we drank. It reached a point where I felt so bad. I went to the washroom, locked myself in, and I started just crying.
Oh, no.
And I told God, God, if this is all my life is all about, then just take it. Because I felt so bad, I couldn't feel anything in my body. I only felt some vibration, my head just doing I could not feel anything. And so I escaped my friends because I realized it was almost at midnight. Now is when one of them was going to the ATM to withdraw money. He was a doctor.
No, they have started now.
We started at 6 p.m. So at 6 p.m., yeah, one of them is the one who was now buying. When it reached midnight, now the other one who came at 10 p.m. is the one who now wants to start buying. And their plan is to go till morning. That's how they used to drink. Oh. They used to drink till 8 a.m. So how can I drink till 8 a.m.? Yet I started at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
You can't.
I'll die. So I just lied to them that I'm going to the washroom, and I disappeared.
And that is all.
And that's how I went, came back home. And now what made me start having that reason to quit, the following day, we had a small child. And it was on a Sunday, I think so. I was feeling so bad. But the problem is, my bad feeling were things that I brought to myself. You know. So even if I told my wife, she couldn't feel sorry for me. For her, she could see a man who has wasted his life, wasted his finances, because now I could not buy even pamper. I remember that day you asked me for pamper for the child, and I didn't have money for that pamper. So I had some little money that was remaining, so I decided, okay, let me go and spend them and buy food. So I was going to get sweet potatoes and something in Marikiti. Marikiti is one of the biggest markets in Kenya. Yeah. So on my way from the house to that Marikiti, that was the turning point of my life in alcoholism. Why? You usually take one bus to Marikiti. But that day I took around 4 buses to Marikiti. Because I would take one bus, I would feel so bad. I felt like my stomach was going to cut. I was feeling like vomiting. The vomit was not there.
And you were in the bus.
The headache now, I cannot even explain the headache. And then mark you now, the sun had already come out. Okay. I was feeling so bad. The conductor who was collecting money would come at me asking me for money. I didn't even have time to look at him because I was holding my stomach so tight. And I think later on I came to realize it was my liver that was reacting now to the excess alcohol that I had consumed. How, by grace of God, I lived, because I could have collapsed anyway and died.
It was that bad.
We took so much, especially the whiskeys, the Johnny Walker. We took so many bottles. And you see, it was being put in the table. Then because people were many in the table, when it's your turn to pour in the glass, you try to pour more. So that because you don't know if the next person will buy another round.
Okay.
So at your turn, you pour more, then you dilute small. Instead of pouring little and you dilute a lot. So I felt so bad. My stomach was aching. My tongue was aching. Every part of my body was aching. And I would start, the moment the car started moving like this, I'll feel like now it's it, I'm going. Then I'll come out, just stop the vehicle any randomly. The conductor, some of them, there's one who almost threw me out because the place, he knew he had left the stage, and for me, I'm stopping the vehicle. But I didn't mind. I gave him more money. I just threw at him the money, and he was able to stop the car around Buruburu area. I stopped, held my stomach. But because I remember I'd done a mistake and I had to prove to my wife that I still care, I had to reach where I'd said I'm going. There was no way I was going to go back home with no food. And yet I've overdrank. I've come home in the morning, you know. So I went until I reached Marikiti. When I reached Marikiti, it was my first time to sit in the mtaros, the trenches. Because I sat in a place, then I was removed, because I was just sitting like this. All I wanted was something to come out of my mouth. But so for even saliva coming out of my mouth, I felt much better. So I was just bending like this and letting saliva just drizzle out. So people would pass at me and look at me helpless. And then I went somewhere, somebody helped me out, he put me next to some trench, and I just slept. And then I had I'd already bought I think the viazis, I had them with me. So I just put it in my head and I slept in the trenches. So just the experience going there, that was now the turning point. That is when I decided, no, this thing is worth nothing. I've already mentioned some of the things that made me. And now this is one of the key ones that made me to decide, this thing I have to find a way to stop my alcoholic addiction. Because I realized, what is the benefit? If somebody tells you that, in Kenya we say, kukula raha, which is eating, enjoyment or life. But what enjoyment is there? If you drink now, then later you feel so bad in your, not even regretting, you feel so bad in your head, in your body, everywhere you feel so bad.
Whatever you affect yourself in, it's not helpful.
Yeah, basically alcohol is not helping anything. It only makes yourself worse. And then maybe I was drinking because I had some stress, but after drinking, I've even added more stress to myself.
And also the friends, eh?
Yeah. So that was one of the turning points that I can talk of. But the major one that now made me to turn was when our daughter passed. So when our daughter passed, remember this time when I was drinking a lot, our daughter was there.
You couldn't save money.
Yeah, I was not able to save any money. My finances were in mess. And then finally there's a D-Day that came when we lost our daughter. She was just okay. She fell sick for a few days. Then we were not even able to pay for ambulance to be able to rush her to hospital.
It was very bad.
Yeah. Just $2 for $2 for the ambulance, to top up the ambulance.
$3.
Yeah. No, there was some money that was lacking that we were to top up that we didn't have for medication first.
Oh, for
medication
was $2.
Yeah. And then after that, the ambulance, we had to top up money, and I lacked only $2 to top up to get the ambulance to rush. And then they had to just take the ambulance without our consent, and then we had to pay at the emergency later. Now more expensive.
More expensive.
Yeah. But now being able not to buy medicine for my daughter, a medicine that would cost maybe $2 or $3, that was
which you could spend.
That was now the thing that made me sit down with myself and say, no, enough is enough. Because I would spend more than $200 on drinking with my friends, and yet I cannot even afford to buy. Later on, I was not able to buy $2 worth of medication for my daughter. And when my daughter passed, that day I made the decision and said, enough is enough. If my daughter can pass because of my lack of responsibility, of me not taking care by consuming my life and time and finances on alcohol, then I'd rather live without it.
And the worst side is that none of the friends came to the burial.
Yes, none of the friends were able to come to be able to support me. And that is one thing that I think people need to learn, that especially in where we stay, where we live in this current generation, people are valuing friends that they go to social places with. But these friends, later on, when now your liver will fail, they won't be there with you.
When you are no more,
they won't be there.
They won't be there. Wow.
They won't be there.
Wow. Another question is that did you get outside help? Rehab, prayers, mentorship, counseling?
I can say me stopping my addiction, I can say it came from the grace of God. It came from grace of God, because God made me realize why He needs me in His kingdom and why I need to stop alcohol. And why I say the grace of God is because I remember you used to pray a lot about it. You used to pray for me to be able to live that life. You used to advise me to leave those friends. And we also started seeking God by going to several churches before we settled in the one we had. We went to so many churches around. Even there's one that their pastor and bishop came to our house and prayed for us, And
also helped us.
Yeah, and helped us. So I can say that the only help I get was prayers and also personal decision. Just the grace of God to be able to give me the ability to say no. Yes.
And also by deciding.
Yeah.
It's by the grace of God.
Yeah, it's by the grace of God just to be able to decide.
So what helped you to take the first step towards the sobriety?
So I can say the first step was just the personal decision that I made, and I realized that for you to stop, then you have to make it public. You cannot say that you are going to leave alcohol, yet it is only you who is saying to yourself. You have to start by telling it to each and every person that you are drinking with. That is the only way you can stop alcohol. Because if you don't tell these people, when you meet these people, they'll give you alcohol and you'll end up drinking. But it is upon you as a person to just, once you decide in your heart that I want to stop this thing, then whenever you meet these people, just make it known to them.
Yeah.
Tell them that me, I've left alcohol.
So that next time they don't even call you.
Yeah, even if they call you, they will call you and they will tempt you so much. Because most of these people have realized they want you to also live the miserable life they are living. So they don't want you to live, because even then they have tried, but they are not able to. So you'll never find somebody who's drinking who is encouraging you not to do it. Most of them will tell you, no, you can stop for a few days, then come back. Some will tell you, no, even small doesn't matter. But you don't know, you started with that small. You see, small is what leads to big. Big one. So even that small that is telling you, even if you take in moderation, it's okay, no. That person is lying to you. But once you make the decision and pray to God and ask God, God, help me to stop this addiction. Number 2, make it public. Make it public. Like let's say you have a family gathering of where people are taking alcohol, just tell them. Don't be embarrassed.
No longer.
Tell them and say, me, I'm no longer in that particular circle or society. Let them respect that. If they're not able to respect that, then leave them. Leave that particular group of friends. And also another thing that maybe people also talk about is staying away from those people. But me, I'll advise differently. You can limit your staying in those people, but also you can never know if you have truly left alcohol if you don't challenge yourself. Because you can say that you've left alcohol because you've not reached a point where you are with people who are taking alcohol. So for me, what happened with me is that I used to love rumba or music. Yeah. So I made a decision to be going to these rumbas the way I used to go. Yeah. Though we never used to go to these rumbas per se, because my friends never liked rumba. But me, I decided, let me go to these rumba places because I love this music. Rumba is our traditional music. Yeah. Yes, some of our traditional music from our local language. So I'll go to these places where the alcohol is there, the environment is there, and just sit with a Del Monte and challenge myself. I'll say, I'm not going to take it. And whenever I would feel the urge to, I'll just walk out before I ask for that drink. Because you are even seeing. Yeah, they're seeing. That was the challenge. I had to see them so that I do not. I know for sure I've stopped. So what I'll do is, before I enter, I make a commitment in my heart and say, I'd already promised my wife, I promised my children, I'm not going to do this thing. So that in itself will make me not do it. Because I know if I do it, then I come to you and I've already drunk, then whatever else I tell you otherwise, you won't take it seriously. You'll say, you are still a drunk. You're just joker. But now, the challenge, because alcohol always smells, there's no way you can hide alcohol. So I'll go to these places, not frequently, because you also don't want to tempt yourself. But I'll go once in a while, ask for a Del Monte juice, then I stay with it there. Even the table, I see people. Now, the first step that I said, making it public, will come in there. Because I will sit in a table with somebody who is also taking, and you're like, you don't want? I'll say, no, I've left. Me, I'm just enjoying my music. And that's wondering, why are you even here? And the thing that amazed me, these people are so amazed to see me. They saw me as somebody who's so strong. And you see, I thought that they'll think of me as somebody who's useless or stupid, wasting his time there. Yeah. But when they looked at me and realized that, wow, you are not taking alcohol, and I say, I'm not. Here. And funny thing, like for those that I'll tell, like I've stopped, they'll ask, for how long? Then some tell, you'll come back, you know. So those are the ones who want you to stay in the misery. Yeah.
Others will just tell you just once in a while won't affect.
You won't affect. But those also are lying for you, because once alcohol enter your system, you need, if you are to stop, you need to stop it completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now the healing and recovery. Question is, what did early recovery look like for you?
Early recovering, it looked like this for me, that I started enjoying my family time.
Okay.
One of the things that I can say that I really enjoyed about not drinking alcohol was that health-wise, I started feeling so energetic. I started feeling so energetic. My brain used to fade. I used to forget so much, I used to forget things so much. And when I stopped, I realized that my mind was now becoming even. You remember, I once told you that I had a hidden talent. Like, I can memorize an entire book. But when I started drinking this thing, and remember, I said I started in Form 2. So imagine if I had not drank in Form 2. I could have already done my PhD. Because there are some people, even right now, who knows that I did my PhD. Most people. Yeah. So I think,
wow.
Yeah.
Now, how did your marriage start healing?
So in my marriage, the healing came because now I'll spend more time with my family. Now I could listen more to my family. I started creating friends with my spouse, with you, with the children. I started to seek God more. And it helped us because we grew. We were able to move places in our family. We were able to buy things. We were able to buy our first car. We achieved a lot, health-wise, and even food stuff in the house. Because I did a mathematics where I started asking myself, how much was I spending in my drinking, in alcohol? And when I decided to stop, basically, I said that the money that I was spending on alcohol, I'm going to spend it to educate my children in very good schools.
Wow.
And that is the reason why up to now, no matter how difficult it is, I've always put my children in some of the good schools around. Yeah. So you see, if I'd continued drinking, they could have missed on the education, because I could have compromised on the education so that I can have money to go and drink. But now, by making that decision to stop drinking, I was able to take away that money that I was drinking to pay for their school fees, and also to make sure that there's enough food in the house. So let's say I get small amount. So that small amount, let's say I get $10 back then. So that $10, it couldn't be enough even to have a night with friends, because those are like 4 bottles only.
What?
So you realize,
much expensive.
Imagine I need like 10 bottles to have fun. So 10 bottles, that means I need to have almost $30. Yet, if I have $10, I can be able to buy 5 packets of sugar for my family.
Alcohol is expensive.
Yeah, it's a very expensive affair that when you look at it, when you sit down and look at it, you realize how much you've wasted in your life. And basically, the alcohol is not adding anything in your life.
It drains.
Totally, it drains your life. Yeah. And also spiritually, it's not good.
And even after that, I can remember that you start going some new places with us.
Yes. Another thing that I can say about our marriage that gained through me leaving alcohol was we started going out. I became more intentional in spending time with the family. I would take you people out to discover new places. We'll go out to eat somewhere. And now I started spending more time, because I did the calculation and realized that I am basically spending time with people who don't care about me. Yet, at the end of the day, they'll run away from me. Yet, I'm leaving my family here. So instead of these people having fun with my hard-earned money, why don't I spend it with my family? So that even if I take my family to eat a 5-star meal, and then tomorrow we lack money to buy even the essential, at least they'll know that when Daddy he does take us to, he took us to the 5-star hotel. Yeah, but now we do not, now he doesn't have. Yeah. But imagine, I had the money, I went and spent it with friends who don't care, and now when there's no money, how will you understand that? Because when I have money, you know that Daddy has money, but we are not seeing that money here. So if I spend it with the other people, when now the money is not there, you people won't understand. You look at me and say, when you have money, you always go and spend it out there. Yeah, so those are some of the things.
we could be able to just experience and recovering new dishes.
Yeah, new dishes. Like, I take you out to places, you experience new expensive tastes that maybe even going for holiday we started after that, because before that we never used to go for holiday.
Where now?
Yeah, because
you
now the money
just focusing on
the money was on alcohol and friends. Yes.
Now, what role did faith, therapy, or community play in your journey?
Faith played a key role in my journey to leave the alcoholic addiction.
Okay.
Because number one, my wife was praying for me. Number two, my mother was praying for me. She used to encourage me a lot and tell me that life is not good. You know, my dad was not like a drunkard. Yes, he would drink a lot. He used to love his bottle. But he wasn't that person who can specify as a drunkard. Yeah, because he used to keep his, provide for us and do his own things. But my mom grew up in that kind of a life, and I think he didn't want it for her children. Yeah, so even me, my mom seeing me drinking, I think it was her saddest moments. Yeah, and I even regret, there's a day I remember she came to our house and we were drinking, and I always feel ashamed of that situation. So faith played a key role. My mom praying, you praying, and also me starting to pray helped me, because at that particular time I started looking for church, and we were able to find a church that we call home, and it really changed a lot. So faith played a key role in me leaving my alcoholic addiction, because also after getting into churches, it took me time to be a strong member and a strong Christian. But even during that time, I'll start questioning certain things, because once you start now reading the Bible, you start understanding things, and then you start looking at life in a different angle. Like, you realize that life is really spiritual, and alcohol is one of the things that the devil uses to attack our spirituality. Because you realize, why is it that when you are drunk is when you can do some of the worst sins ever? Look at the people who have committed murder. Most of them do commit murder because they have taken either one or two things. They are not themselves. Yeah, like even those who take cocaine, you realize, heroin, they can do anything at any time. You know. Yeah, even maybe you have domestic quarrel with your spouse and one of you is drunk. It is so easy for it to escalate to something very bad. So I think faith played a very big role in me leaving that addiction.
Now for the lessons, encouragement and hope.
Yes.
What do you wish more people knew about addiction and recovery?
So maybe I can say this, that addiction is not the end of life.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always hope. There's always hope, but it comes from you yourself making the decision that I want to stop it. But number one, you have to do an analysis of yourself, of your own life. You have to sit down and write the benefit of taking alcohol and the disadvantages that you feel in your life are. If you realize that the disadvantages are more than the benefits, then you'll know what to do. Because it is a personal decision that comes. Even if you go to rehab, if you have not made that personal decision that I want to stop, you won't stop it. Because the one of the challenge of living addiction is the urge of that alcohol. You see, when you look at that alcohol and you feel like, I need to take it. But mark you, the moment you take another sip, it is you going even deeper. What happens to people is that when you stop and then you come back, leaving it is more harder than if you had just stopped completely. Yes. So it is always better that if once you've made that decision, personal, not somebody pushing you, personally decision that I want to stop, because you have sat down and you have looked at what does alcohol does in my life. Is it doing anything good or bad? You understand? And there's nothing like even a small bit of alcohol is good for your head. There's nothing like that. Alcohol adds no value. In fact, it brings more problems to your life than any value. You realize? So, one of the tips that I can say is this. Make that personal decision. If you can find friends who are not into alcoholism, they'll be able to guide you. One thing that people fear is that if you are used to social setting where people are taking alcohol, so people always wonder now, if I stop, how will I enjoy myself over the weekends? There's a lot of enjoyment. Even if you go to a local church, you can go to a movie, you can take, if you have a family, you can go out for camping, you can go out for dinners, you can do a lot of things.
Coffee dates.
Yeah, for coffee dates. There's so much that you can do. You can have a lot of fun, just the same way that you are going to share in this channel, that you can have fun without even alcohol. You can have fun with your family, you can have fun with doing a lot of things. And I'm not saying that you are perfect. This is a journey, and I can state clearly that, yes, when I decided to stop alcohol was in 2016. So I did stop it for 5 good years, up to 2021. And then I found myself back into alcoholism. And the reasons why I made was because I was going through a very difficult moment in my life. There was some things that were challenging me emotionally. I felt into a sort of depression. But the reasons I gave were reasons that made me to regret going back to alcoholism. And I can state that I made a personal decision to my God that I will not drink again. And one thing I learned about making promises to God is, if you know you are not going to keep that promises, please stop. Don't do it. Don't even start it. Because I made a decision and told God that I'm not going to drink, and I pray that He give me